and I think that would go a long way.
Okay.
Thanks, thank you.
You're talking about the fencing, is it going to be like where the trail itself is?
It would encompass the outer portion along the parking lot. It would contain like the train station, the caboose.
That was my question, like
Correct.
Maggie's Sweet Shop, everything
Correct.
around the buildings.
Maggie's would be enclosed in there, which she closes.
Right.
Her lease is spelled out pretty defined date to date that she pays.
And then you would be on the inside of the trains? You're not gonna be on the outside of the train?
The trains would be encompassed in it. They would be enclosed in it. Yeah,
Right on the outside of the train. In other words, the museum would be left alone?
The museum would not be enclosed.
Okay.
Yeah.
Only because we have something going on in the holidays here, so.
Guys would be good to go, yeah.
Thank you.
Councilman Ramik?
Also, in the past years further back, we used to use our auxiliaries. They used to really enjoy patrolling, especially the park and different areas.
We are going to reach out to the chief. Chelsea and I discussed that today, and we would love them to be a part of the event and be there during the event, and, you know, just as a presence. No one should be needed, but definitely have the presence.
Sounds good.
Mr. Chairman?
Councilman Bzura?
The clarification on the collection of the money, the agreement says that they will operate a ticketing system to collect fees. Is the money going to them or is the money going to us?
We did make that change. I believe we're going to run it through, we still have to work through that, but we wanted to be, we did not want to be the negotiations. We just worked out that way that we would do the ticket sales. Right now we use Universe, and we probably would stay with that, and that would be ran by us. With checks and balances, they can audit it, we can audit it,
Sure.
look at how many sales, things of that nature, yep. So we'll make that correction.
The agreement is 40% of net collections. So net collections, if there's a cost for Taylor Police, for instance, is that coming off the top and then we're cutting 40% of net? Am I defining net correctly?
Or we would have to, how we receive the money back in on our side, and then get with Jason and make that portion whole if we have a cost for police, correct? That would come out of the proceeds on our side, out of our 40%.
Okay. Councilman Johnson?
There was some talk that maybe Fish and Loaves could benefit from this also. What are we?
Yeah, we did have
looking at?
Yep.
We are talking about, we've had early discussions with Goodfellows, so that way they would run the Santa photos area, and then they would receive proceeds out of our 40%. And then same thing, we do intend hopefully to have alcoholic beverages for sale and food. And I discussed briefly with Rotary them pulling a liquor license, and then proceeds from that could go towards Fish and Loaves, because I know there's no Santa's Magic Forest this year. Right. So that definitely is our goal. Obviously, is always to be whole, but that our portion of the revenue covers all of our costs, and then also we can give back to our local community who normally benefits from Winterfest, from all the fun things that we don't get to do this year.
And if there's a charity that's being supported by this, we would contribute as well.
Yeah, normally we do the Santa's Magic Forest, but they don't feel safe to do it this year.
So Scott, he's saying that Blue Water, which is, you know, we didn't negotiate this, they would also make a donation out of their proceeds back to a couple charities or a charity of our choice.
Appreciate that, yeah. Especially that, Santa's Magic Forest isn't going to happen this year. That would benefit them greatly, so.
And I hope, guys, moving forward, I think this is going to be I know a lot of people go down to Dearborn, to the park there, and do their thing year after year. I do think we might start rivaling them with this attraction. I truly believe that.
Okay. Does anybody else have anything? If we're not able to see the presentation, that's okay.
We could give you guys a couple minutes just to kind of see the visual if you'd like to look at it.
Mr. Chairman, I wouldn't mind seeing,
Sure.
Yeah.
what we can get.
Oh, so we
Sure,
can
sounds
watch it
cool.
on
I'd
this.
like to see it.
Oh, on this.
I do apologize.
Is it something that can be emailed to us?
Yeah, that's what I was just gonna say.
Okay.
Send you guys the email real quick, and then you can watch it. It's gonna come to my personal.
Okay.
Are you forwarding it to them after?
Yeah.
Okay, great.
You want me to send it to you right now, or you wanna watch it after the meeting?
It's not that long, we can walk through the slides and start.
If you guys would, I'd love to have you view a portion of it, because they really put some time into this, so if you may have questions, or it might spark different thoughts, where If we could take a couple minutes of your time.
Explain it real quick. Yeah. So in this, it's a PowerPoint. In this PowerPoint, you'll see there's a video up front. Video is of Glenmore Trails, the current session. It's followed by a few photos of that same themed attraction. Then there is some shots of the Haunted Forest, which is the kind of next version of that. I believe there may be some of the, we have a partnership with John Ball Zoo in Grand Rapids we're setting up right now for as well. So there might be some shots of that, and then there are just a handful of photos of previous themed experiences we've done over the years. So things in downtown Detroit, things with some nonprofit music charities, and some other various entities. So no information, it's just full screen images, so if you have any questions, I'm always available to answer them.
Through the chair, how long have you been in business?
Since 1985.
85? Thank you.
You guys are in Southfield, right?
Yeah, actually, we just moved. We're now in Wixom.
What did you say, Wixom?
He used to be your airborne guy, I think.
Yep.
So through the chair, we did just email, everyone's number, Dan, earlier, on your laptop. You should see it from my personal email, and there's a SharePoint link that you can click, and it'll pull up the PowerPoint, and you know I can pull it up for you.
I didn't get it. Is
It
anything
might
else?
have the spam folder.
Oh, okay.
Check for that. And then standard
Yeah, it's in the spam.
Mine
Do more and then click on spam.
Once you open the PowerPoint, you click on the video, and when engage the video start, slide after the video.
You can show it to Dan, I'm good.
She's showing you.
Sure. There's the more.
I promise you it was.
I think I'm there.
There is some music.
Order.
600 to 800 lighted LED rods, and the music kind of waves through the lighted rods and TP effect rods, along with the Edison House behind it being totally transitioned to the music too. So those are some of the elements. We have an LED wall that's interactive that could be set to a themed Christmas story. And what we do like to do is tie in a story for the whole experience, sensory experience as you walk through. In the case of Glenlore, we have our friendly wooded creatures, and there's 7 different little wooded creatures that come on the first portal as a projection mapping setup with a perforated screen. And the kids are kind of exposed to all the elements they're going to see in the next 10 activations through the walkthrough of about 40-45 minutes. In addition, we introduce some of those characters, the friendly wooded characters, the talking trees, a glimpse of those. So it's kind of a sneak preview. And the whole theme is, as they walk through the woods, these creatures are greeting them from the woods. We have monitors that you don't see with the creatures floating back in the woods. We have lighted capability on the trail, so there's never a dark spot. Folks can walk down a well-lit trail, and then it leads to them another activation zone and experience. One was a bubble land with UV bubbles, and we had several bubble machines through all the trees in that area. So just engaging, very sensory activated, and immersive as you walk through, and a great family, type activity. So, and these are one activation after another. And once I work at, all the employees have worked this particular project to get our folks back to work. Equipment off the shelves, as Scott mentioned, and it's been a great effort to get some of our production folks back into working positions sooner, and it's been a success story. So, thank you.
Thanks.
Is there any other questions?
I do.
Sure.
First, I think this is a great opportunity. But I do have a question on the merchandise and concession sales. It's 50-50 split, but who's working that? I mean, who's covering the expenses for selling?
Well, I can defer to Chelsea. We would probably man those gates. We would be manning. So what we're going to try to do is, as we said, make a donation back, engage the good fellas, engage maybe Fish and Loaves to cover the booths for us. But in turn, they get a donation back from the proceeds for covering those, and that puts us at really a no hourly cost, but it gives us people we can entrust with those positions.
I think that's a good approach. Only my concern was how much, you know, if we're only getting 40%, 50%, and we're outlaying a lot of expenses that we're covering that.
I can just add something. Our goal for the concessions is actually to go the food truck route, so to charge a basic vendor fee and then have them make the sales, and then we have a flat vendor fee. That way we're not buying food consistently, keeping that up on our end. We'd like to use the Sheridan Pavilion to set up like a food truck alley through there.
Chelsea makes a good point. So this, we want to make this a night out, not just a 40-minute trot. Food truck set up in like a little roundabout in the Sheridan Pavilion, and we can rotate those weekend to weekend, find which ones are most, you know, in demand. So you could go in, you can get your food, your dinner, you can go over and do the stroll, you can go see Santa. It'd be a good time, you know, family time, especially with how everyone is having to strategically work around COVID. This gives a great opportunity where we feel we can keep everyone safe, it's outdoors, and we can schedule, which is key. We can schedule time slots so we know how many people will be there at one time, and we can move them.
And I think, you know, I'm actually looking forward to this too, and it's a one-year agreement, so if we decide we like it, we can, you know, definitely, you know, look forward to doing something in the future as well.